Howdy, folks. How you going? It's a party, and cheers. Cheers. Happy birthday, Darren Bergworth, my place, Frankston.
Yeah, thanks, Carl. 2 years since we started, almost to the day, basically, and we already got over 200 people in here, and people are still coming through the front door. So we got live bands until midnight, and we already had the cops drive past and do a bit of a drive-by through the back laneway.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see whether they come back later, but yeah, it's pumping here at the moment, and it'd be great to see everyone get down here.
So the first band's already been on. Second band's out there at the moment. 2 more to come. The sound system is awesome. So you're sharing my place with all of Frankston tonight.
Well, I think, yeah, we've already had a lot of people come down the laneway to see what's going on, and I think, yeah, half of Frank's going to hear the music once these boys pump it up.
So the big thing about My Place Frankston is it was the first My Place, and Darren came up with this idea because he was sick and tired of the control measures that placed on Victorians during that time in our life a little while ago. Well, mate, did you ever expect in your wildest dreams it would be growing to something like this?
No, not at all. It's crazy. It's crazy where it's gone. It started out as a concept to push back against the bullshit of the lockdowns, and it's turned into something quite special. And I think we're over 180 My Place communities Australia-wide now. We're building a new economy. The Gold Coast have got nearly 180 businesses now that are like-minded. The supporters keeping cash in the economy. They're sick of the government overreach. And, you know, they've got 179. Each one of those businesses has 179 other businesses where they're getting the mindset that they should be spending their money at. And this whole prospect of actually starting our own system, our own parallel system, which might have been a pipe dream when we started. A lot of people discredited any chance of doing that, but it's actually becoming a reality, and more people getting on board. And look, I think we're going ahead in leaps and bounds at the moment.
Yeah, mate, growing in leaps and bounds, and I get stopped all the time. In fact, even today, there was a lovely lady while I was unloading some stuff, bringing it in earlier. She lives 200 metres up the road, said she'd never heard of My Place. So I said, well, tonight you'll definitely hear it, and you will hear it all.
Vietnamese, Souvlaki truck, a Vietnamese van out there. We've got a liquor license tonight for everybody. So we've got really cheap grog on offer, and we've got live music till midnight. And no doubt we'll be going long after midnight. But yeah, it's an amazing night so far. The weather's beautiful, and look, I'm just blown away actually by the amount of support. And I've got people coming from all around Victoria. We've got people from come down from Albury, Wodonga.
Yep.
We've got people up from Geelong. We've got people from Southeast Gippsland, and people come from all over Victoria tonight, and very appreciative and you know, supportive of what we've created. And like I said, we're only just getting started.
Now, tomorrow in Vic West, at Vic West My Place, at Vic West Organics, they've got a market day getting underway. I think it's from midday or 1 o'clock. That's on Melton Valley Way. I can tell you some of the produce there I've personally delivered. You and Doris linked up the other day. I think oranges and avocados are what I helped unload the other day. They've got some magnificent oranges. I bought a bag of those, and I've already had 2 of them. They are spectacular. So go and grab yourself some of those oranges. Now, they're all sourced through My Place, aren't they?
Yeah, I actually went and picked those up from Sunshine West from Pickering's Transport on Thursday morning. Met Doris there. I think she took 30 bags of avocados and 30-odd bags of oranges.
Yeah, wonderful.
And we've bought the rest back here, and we've been selling them today. So, yeah, this is, once again, supporting our local producers, getting out of the supermarkets, and building our own economy.
Yeah.
We do not need to shop at Coles and Woolworths.
No.
We are creating our own network of you know, food sourcing. And
the quality of the food is...
Oh, mate. The oranges are, yeah, they're second to none. They really are.
Yeah. Well, they're straight out of the Sunraysia, aren't they? Straight out of the Murray?
Yep.
Yeah. Or up at Mildura. Beautiful, beautiful navel oranges. And I'm not an avocado aficionado, so to speak, but they look nice.
It's funny. I remember grade 5, my teacher, Mrs. Fields, brought avocados in, and I was horrified. And I thought, what's that shit that you are eating?
Yeah.
And now that I actually love avocado, and it's quite good for you as well. beneficial for our health. So, yeah, look, we're all learning new things about what's good for us, and actually taking it serious now. And we're all very dubious about these vaccinations, about being unhealthy and not wanting to take them.
Yeah.
But now we've got to look at moving on and realising that all the other shit we're eating is also full of poisons, and we've really got to start taking control back in so many different ways on how we live, and also where we spend our money.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of all sorts of poisons, I've been contacted by Peter, who is out in the middle of South Australia on the Victorian South Australian border. We were talking about chemtrails the other day. He has a white car. He went out after a big spray, and has found that his white car is covered in this very strange dust. It's a metallic dust. So
is it green in colour?
Not quite. It's more silvery grey, although it could be a bit green, I suppose. Yeah.
Well, I know that where I was living last year, we're in a second-story townhouse, and the guy who bought the single-story one next door got up, gurneyed the roof. It was spotless. Within 3 months, it had these big green patches on it, and it was mould starting to grow back. So I've seen out in Wandon, Nat, a friend of mine, came out one morning and had lots of green, rain over his car.
Wow.
So, look, who knows what they're spraying up there? And this bullshit about they're spraying good stuff, I wouldn't believe that for 1 second.
No.
These bastards are still
water, into the food, into everything. So
they're still moving ahead with their agenda, unabated as far as I'm concerned. And I'm very concerned about people thinking that someone's coming to save us, because this has been going on for so many freaking years that if you don't realise that the only saviour that you've got is yourself and your community, and regardless of whether something's happening or not, get off your ass and start doing something. Change your behaviour. If you want change, be that change.
Yeah, that's a very good statement. If you want change, be the change. Very, very cool. Listen, I know you have got a whole heap of people you have to talk to, and there are a whole heap of people who are waiting to talk to me, and they don't want to come on here and talk to us. So we're going to cut this one short. I've set up a whole heap of gear, but the camera's system is unable at this point to get out to where the band is for a variety of things. So we're not going to punch the bands out tonight, but I am going to go and take the GoPro around and start talking to a few people. And over the course of tomorrow, Darren and I might sit down again and we'll replay the evening and have a bit of a talk about it and talk more about my place. Thank you so much. And we'll bring that to you over the weekend. The big thing that I think you wanted to keep pushing for is the 11th of the 11th, Darren.
Yeah, 100%, guys. Look, wherever you sit in this in the freedom movement or whatever you want to call this, look, just to be to make a statement tonight, I don't see my place as being part of the freedom movement. I really actually see the freedom movement as being quite dysfunctional and disorganised. What we're trying to do is move away from fighting and all the bullshit and the politics, and actually do the work that we need to do, and start creating the new. So my place certainly isn't part of the freedom movement. We're moved beyond that, and but the big thing that we are pushing is educating ourselves.
Yeah, that's
about our history, about how we get our sovereignty back, how we get our country back. We've got our plans in place for how we believe we need to do it, but there are other knowledge that we need to learn. And part of that at the moment that I'm studying very intensely is this stuff about the red ensign, the land flag.
Yep.
What that is in our history, the Shrine of Remembrance, and the foundation stone that was created and laid for us in 1926 at the King's Domain in Melbourne.
Yep.
And there's a massive push, and I know Tim Dwyer is pushing people also, or presenting to get people to the Shrine of Remembrance on the 11th of the 11th, which is only 2 weeks away. I tried to do a big push last year, and we only got a few hundred people there. I'm hoping for thousands of people this year. I know all the Red Flag Brigade are coming from all over the country, from far north Queensland, from Northern Territory, South Australia, New South Wales. So This is a big part of our history that people haven't been informed about, and we have no knowledge about. It's something we need to learn. When it comes to red flags, yes, I've got red flags all around my building here at my place. When we go to the Shrine of Remembrance at 11 a.m. on the 11th of the 11th, there will be no red flags to be displayed. It is not a political statement. It is not a rally. It's not a protest. We are paying respect to our fallen soldiers, our 62,000 Anzacs from World War One, and it is a memorial service and a church service. So we're not there to fly the red flag at the event or the Remembrance Day at 11 o'clock. So bring your red flags, no problem at all. But please do not bring them out. Do not display them when we're having the ceremony and the remembrance for our fallen soldiers.
Yeah, show the respect that they deserve. And do a little bit of history checking, folks. Find out about Prince Albert and what he did in 1927, I think it was, when...
that'll be Prince George, mate. Prince Albert's something totally different, and we won't go there.
Wasn't his name Albert before he became King George?
Oh, I don't know about that, but the connotations of Prince Albert...
There may not have been a Prince Albert. I've only had half a scotch too. I mean, I'm very sorry. But check it out. That foundation stone laid in 1927, I think.
King George V.
And King George V came in after World War II, but it was he was the bloke who laid the foundation stone. So check out that history and check out the stories and the law surrounding it. That stone anchors the heaven to the earth. It is on hallowed ground. Find out what that actually means, folks. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to go. Yep. We're going to go and shake hands.
And I'm going to go. But before I go, I'm going to say to the people of Australia, please, it's time to stand the fuck up, okay? No more bullshit. We do not consent. We do not do deals with terrorists. And in my opinion, this corporate occupying government, in my opinion, are terrorists, right? They're committing mass genocide. They're committing crimes against humanity. And when it comes to actually taking part in this system, a system that we all know now, anyone in the Truther movement that's been awake for the last 3 years, we know this system actually protects pedophiles, right? There's 28 people in Parliament that we know. It protects and facilitates crimes against humanity, mass genocide, what else? Treason, sedition, extortion, and the list goes on. And the system that we have is broken to the point of no return. And the only way forward is to disembark totally, do not consent with anything that these Muppets are actually pushing on us, and create our own system. And that's exactly what we're trying to do at my place. And this country will be taken back by the people. And what we're doing, the communities that we're building, is a big part of that. So anyone that still believes that we have a solution in politics or in voting, please start to have a look at the system that you're supporting. This system is a satanic system, and it is a corrupt system. And if you are taking part in it, then in my opinion, you are part of the problem and you're not part of the solution. And we need solutions. We don't need victims.
Yep.
We don't need to revisit what we've been through. We have enough information. We have enough knowledge. We have enough evidence. It's time to forget about the bullshit and get on with the rebuilding the Australia that we want.
Good on you, mate. Here. I stand by you 100%.
Thank you.
All right, I'll take that. Yep. You shake your hand. No worries. You go out and look after the beer, and I'll be out there shortly. Okay, folks, it's going to be a pretty short one tonight because there is a lot of people here who want to get together and have a chat and catch up. I saw one thing in there from somebody who said Ricardo has said that we parted ways. Tell you the story? I couldn't tell you a story. I've got no idea what Ricardo thinks, says or feels. The man doesn't communicate. He hasn't returned an email from just after our tour last year. Hasn't had the courtesy to return a phone call, hasn't had the courtesy to send an SMS. In fact, has done nothing except try and attack me privately. So I don't talk about it because I don't have too many wonderful things to say about the way Ricardo runs what he's calling his solution. I don't like somebody who fails to communicate. And I certainly don't believe that's a leader that we need, one that can't communicate and makes decisions and doesn't inform for any reason, doesn't supply any reason for those decisions, doesn't take any questions, and in fact just ignores you. And I think there are a lot of people in the A1 group who have found and know exactly what I'm talking about there. So if Ricardo wants to start talking about our relationship, he might want to be careful. That's all. There's a lot of things about our relationship people don't know. And that's by design. I have no desire to attack Ricardo Bosey or A1. But I will protect my place and I will protect Voice of Freedom. So if Ricardo wants to open up that channel of communication, my doors have always been open. I have lost count of the amount of emails I've sent asking for interviews, lost count of the amount of phone calls I've made and been ignored, lost count of the amount of text messages I've sent and been ignored. So if we did have a parting of the ways, I don't know why, and he ain't talking about it. So lack of communication, not something I would expect in one of our leaders. To be honest, I was quite shocked and appalled, if I'm honest, at the way that he treated this situation, which apparently is a situation, but I'm completely unaware of what that situation is, other than the fact he started lording over people who were working with me, including the Galactic Larrikins, and saying, if you want to work with Carl, you'll never work with me again, that kind of thing. Now, that pisses me off. And he's still yet to explain to me why he made that. He's also gone into, look, there's a lot of things you don't know about the relationship, and I don't know why he's gone the way he's gone. Nobody does. Nobody close to him, well, those close to him just listen to him and nod their head a lot. It seems that if you ask questions he doesn't like, you get cut off. Maybe that's all it is. Anyway, that'll be something for another night, a happier night. Well, a different night. Tonight is a happy night, and I don't want to get into the bullshit with them. My door is always open. They are welcome on this program anytime they like. John Wilson, it is exactly the same. The invitation is always here. But they seem to have got together now and got their heads together and decided that, this isn't a great thing. I will remind you that, a bit over 12 months ago, Ricardo told everybody that they shouldn't fund a bus. They shouldn't fund a platform for me, a channel for me. And it's interesting to note that John Wilson, when saying that he was going to support this platform and be part of it when push came to shove, was unable to and hasn't answered a phone call since. So the platform's up and running. The platform has been built for people like both of them. So if they want in, they've both got my phone number, they've both got my email address, and I would welcome them to pick up the phone or send me an email to discuss it. I just don't think either of them are going to.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back.
Does anybody else want to stay?